Hey guys, Razorblade Mango here, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of my impressions of Final Fantasy VII Remake so far. I don't often do this because I don't like to talk about games like this until after I've completed it, but considering this is an extremely rare occurrence for me to where I get a game a couple days before it comes out, like for you guys, like a professional games media hype journalist. Woo! No, I'm nothing special. I didn't get a hookup from Square Enix or anything. Square Enix probably hates me. Well, just so you guys know, like this, so there's no like how the fuck did the Razorblade Mango steal a copy of it or something? Did he like sneak into Square Enix and steal it? No. One of my friends, who you know who you are if you're out there and listening to this, they run a ma and pop game store, and were able to get me a copy of the game super early. Well, not super early, but early enough to where I've been playing it for about 7 hours now, almost 7 hours, and it's not even available to purchase on the PlayStation Store yet. So, yep, I'm getting you guys a hot Razorblade Mango sneak peek, early access of a game, and what a game to do it with is Final Fantasy VII Remake. Similar to Kingdom Hearts 3, it is incredibly weird to say that. It's incredibly weird to say I have played Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm not just talking about the demo. Like I've played almost 7 hours of the game. I have it in my hand right now, and I just can't believe that I'm holding this. Seriously, I can't. This is so bizarre to me. So, Final Fantasy VII Remake. How is it so far? I am very happy to report that I am really enjoying it. It's not perfect. It's not this amazing masterpiece that maybe Square Enix have kind of set themselves up to live up to just because of what they've done with this. But so far, I have been really liking it, and I guess I'll get the bad out of the way the first. I mean, obviously, you guys know with the last video I threw up, I'm not a fan of the side quests. The side quests are the most basic bitch JRPG side quests you could possibly put in a video game, and they suck. I mean, they're not as terrible as Final Fantasy 15's, like, astoundingly dull and basic side quests. They're definitely better than those ones because they have actual variety to them. They're not just the same old, oh, go here and take this picture here. Go here and catch some frogs here. Oh, go to this area and catch more flowers or some shit. They were garbage in Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 is a garbage game anyway, but the side quests were just like unbelievably shit. And they're not unbelievably shit in FF7 Remake, but they're not good, and they play into a bigger problem that I have with the game, which is that I think in its efforts to try to pad out the game, because obviously if you guys don't know, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not the full story. I have an idea of where it ends. I'm pretty sure I know where it's gonna end, but this is only the chapter, the bits of the original game that take place in Midgar, stretched out to a length that fits a mainline Final Fantasy game. Which so far I'm not even like, I don't think I'm even halfway through the game yet. I don't think I am, but I'm at the near 7 hour mark. So, and I've been having a good time with it, but it's just some of the padding in this game does get a bit much, and being the, you know, like when I play a JRPG, I like to do all the side quests, so I forced myself to spend a few hours completing side quests, and they're not the best designed in terms of being specific of what you need to do. There's a lot of menu surfing you gotta do in order to uncover what you actually have to do and some of the stuff. there are some neat little things here and there that make the streamlining of doing those side quests better than I initially anticipated, but I wish they had kind of cut down, either get rid of all the side quests, get rid of them, get rid of the rat killing side quests in RPGs, get rid of, oh, I need to find my cats, go fucking find my cats, get rid of that shit. Leave maybe the side quests that all have to do with combat, stuff like that. That's fine, that are actually written, and they have those in the game where you meet side characters that are voiced and they give you not particularly interesting things to do, but their stories are somewhat interesting, I guess. And it's a little hard to be mad at the side quests when Midgard looks this fucking amazing. When I saw Midgard for the first time in the daylight, I literally said out loud, wow. I just went, whoa, whoa. I can see why this game comes on 2 discs, because the graphical detail for the most part is like Square Enix on crack. You know how Square Enix like is always obsessed with delivering the prettiest graphics, but man, wow, it shows. The skyboxes look amazing. The level of detail in Midgard and on the ground is crazy. I saw like little mice running around on the ground, just little details like that. Little details like the number of people. I was really surprised with how crowded Midgard is, because in Final Fantasy VII Remake, in Final Fantasy VII the original one, you kind of have to use your imagination of how crowded Midgard is. But here, you really get to see how crowded the slum is, and I really liked that. And it kind of reopened. It looks so good that it kind of reopened that old wound of why I was so how disappointed I was with how small Twilight Town was in Kingdom Hearts 3. Kind of made me go, oh god, I wish Twilight Town was like Midgard. That would have been great. Facial animation, when outside of a, because I get the lip syncing and the facial animation isn't the best when it's just a regular cutscene with characters talking to one another and just reverse shot kind of thing. When it's a highly elaborately detailed cutscene that zooms in on the characters' facial expressions and eyes, it is amazing. Tifa in particular. Tifa, her eyes are gorgeous. And I'm not saying that on like a be my waifu kind of thing. The level of detail they have in her eyes to really sell you on her character is astonishing. And I always say that characters, if you want to go for these elaborately detailed character models, you need to get the eyes right. And they get the eyes right so well with Tifa. Tifa in particular just looks, I know, it looks gorgeous both as, you know, beauty-wise and as character model, polygon, all that crap kind of wise. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm not fawning. I mean, yeah. Shut up. Yeah, Tifa looks great. Some weird texture problems are in there as well. They haven't released a day 1 patch for it yet, but I assume they're going to, maybe tonight or tomorrow. But there are some really terrible textures in this game. Even noticeable for somebody like me. The door to your apartment in this game is blotchy. Like, it looks like some PS1 era type shit. There are signs that fail to properly load that look all blotchy and blurry, that look terrible. But those are just like mild blemishes on a game that otherwise looks fantastic. It looks gorgeous. Content-wise, combat-wise, all that stuff is mostly very good. The combat is good, it's solid, I enjoy it. It can get a little erratic at times, and the camera sometimes can't keep track of what's going on. It becomes a little too herky-jerky. It pans, it zooms in a little too much at some cases, a little too close. I'm not crazy about Cloud's positioning. It's like he's in that position where Batman is if you're just walking around in an Arkham game. It's kind of like that. He's like in the leaning to the left side of the screen, and I'm not really crazy about that. I wish he had kind of had like a midpoint kind of thing like Sora does in Kingdom Hearts. But those are just like little nitpicky stuff. Combat is a lot of fun. Now that I have multiple party members, it is a blast to switch and play up the strategic element that I saw in the demo. And I can't wait to add even more party members. I want to see if this combat system can hold up to that as well. And the bosses. Oh my god, the bosses in this game. I think I've fought 3 bosses so far. And all 3 of them have been excellent. I got giddy at the end of 2 of them. Because I already did the scorpion robot thing. I did that in the demo, so that wasn't a big surprise. That's still a really fun fight. But the next 2 big boss fights after that are just, oh god, they're so good. They are just, I literally was like, woo! Like at the end of a few of them. I did that thing where I like pumped my fist in the air and was like, yeah, that was awesome. So I'm really looking forward to the next boss fights that are coming up. I don't know what they're going to be, but I hope they're as good as like the last 3 have been. These boss fights, compared to Final Fantasy, most of them in Final Fantasy 15 were just terrible. This one is, the boss fights are so good. And speaking of bosses, tonally, this game is very interesting. Because I know Square Enix tried to sell the new content that they're adding in as like, oh, we want it to feel natural, as if it was always there to begin with. No. No. There is a big writing and tonal shift compared to the stuff that has always been in Final Fantasy VII that's in the remake. The stuff that is new is interesting. But besides the side quests, which I've talked about, I'm not a fan of them. The main campaign stuff that is new is fun. It doesn't really fit with the tone the rest of it is going for, but it's intriguing. One in particular that I'm a little worried about where it's going, given Nomura's history with convoluted bullshit. And there's one part of the game, one big section of the game, that just turns into like full-on Advent Children lunacy. And I'm not saying that as a dig at the game. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy Advent Children. I know that movie gets trashed by a lot of people, but I'm a big fan of it. I think it's just so stupid and so ridiculous that I love it. I think it's just the fucking fights in that movie are incredible. They're so much fun to watch. That movie is just pure eye candy. And there's one chapter in this game that goes full on Advent Children that is so stupid and plays against the tone that the rest of the game is going for, that I just started laughing out loud. I didn't even like, it wasn't like an unintentional. I just was like, okay, game, you win. You win. This is so silly. You win. It was like for me watching a Fast and the Furious movie, which I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies, like the latter ones. So I'm fine with all the weird, insane acrobatics and fucking insane fighting that happens with stuff like that. I don't care. I know, I understand that it clashes with what Final Fantasy VII Remake is going for with the original stuff, but I don't care. It's so much fun. It's so stupid. I love it. I just want to like pinch whoever. I want to like pinch their cheeks of whoever like came up with all that shit and just be like, oh, you're so adorable. It's so much fun. I love you so much. But yeah, so far that's Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm gonna come back with final thoughts after I'm done with the game. So, sir, have this as kind of like a little taste. I'm a little bit worried. I feel like I've jinxed myself sort of now that I've done this video, because I did this with Final Fantasy 15 and I said that was a great game, and then like right after that is when the game just sunk into an abyss. But so far, Final Fantasy VII Remake is shaping up to be the best single-player Final Fantasy game since 10. And I know that's not a particularly high bar to leap over for me, but considering that I have not been a fan of a mainline Final Fantasy game, a single-player mainline Final Fantasy game in, God, yeah, probably since 10. I couldn't get into 12. I hated 13, 15 shit. World of Final Fantasy, I hated. Yeah, yeah, this one is shaping up to be the best single-player Final Fantasy game in almost 20 years for me. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm nervous, but I'm excited to see where it goes. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you'd like to subscribe, let me know what you think about. Well, I mean, unless you have an advanced copy of it, you really can't. But let me know what you guys. I don't know. Let me know if you guys are getting it or something. I'm curious. If you have any questions about the game, just feel free to send them my way. Oh, before I forget, so this is gonna get into a little bit of a tiny light spoiler territory. So if you want to click off now's a good time. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm not crazy about how often Sephiroth appeared in the beginning. He's in it visibly. It's not like he's a voice, a disembodied voice. You actually see him in the flesh, like as like Cloud's vision of something, his hallucinations. And I'm not crazy. I wasn't crazy about how they did that because I thought it was a little anticlimactic how they introduced Sephiroth. Because I felt like the first time we should see Sephiroth is when during the famous the famous shot of him walking through the flames when Niflheim is burning down. But the way they introduced Sephiroth in this game, I'm not a fan. I wasn't that crazy about it, so and I'm a little nervous about how they're gonna handle him. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.